Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I have a ricotta cheese container, an old CD, if you know what that CD is. I don't use CDs anymore. Everything's on mechanical now. But if you know what that CD is, say it in the comments. I have a little cup here. You could use any kind of little cup. I had these that I got at a flea market or somewhere. I saw a bunch of them. Minute Winnet is what they're called. I don't know if that's from a game or what, but it's about the size of a shot glass, or one of those paper shot glasses would probably work well for this project. Then I have a sprue here, of which I'm going to steal part of for this project. So first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of this sprue, and I'm going to trim this up. I'm just cleaning off the sides of it here. See if I can't get this off. Possibly. And see how that cup could go in there. Something like that. I don't want to have to drill holes because I'm lazy, but I will use these markers to kind of even this up. And I'm going to snip those just a little bit in so it's not completely off. And if you've seen some of the newer Star Wars movies, Mustafar, I'm making like a big smelting kettle thing. Alright, then we want to let that kind of sit in place and cool so it holds it how it is. Just like that. Then I'm going to come up under here. I'm going to get a little extra glue in there just to make sure it stays. And I might super glue that too at some point. We'll set that off to the side to dry. And let's get started on our smelter. Oh, that's what we're making. I forgot to tell you guys. We're making a giant smelter because in the future, all metal gets salvaged and it just all gets put into one big pot. And so we're making a big industrial smelter device. Okay, I need cardstock. This should be easy to do. What we want to do is we want to make some industrial plating. So we're just going to shove that down on there and smear it around. Make sure we have lots of good stuckiness on there. And then we're going to cut off some strips for the sides. Just like that. Line that up pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Same thing over here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Something like that. And I'm going to get just a crafting knife. Kind of come around the outside here. Oops. Just like that. And before too long, we will have one of these. This is just to represent pieces that have been repaired. Okay, then we want to fit this section here towards like the front. Oops. And we want to kind of drag that around so that sticks. Okay, now there are some seams that we don't want showing. And we don't want to use a whole ton of glue for this. But we don't want to spend money using a bunch of expensive stuff like resin and stuff either. So what we're going to do is we are going to make it look like this thing is pretty deep. And this is just some different texture and stuff on the bottom. Okay. So any seams that you can get glue on to kind of cover those up the best you can. Okay. Then cut up a bunch of scrap pieces of plastic from sprues and just cut that in there like that. And once you have some in there in good capacity, just get a little bit of super glue and sprinkle it on them. Maybe your super glue is empty, so grab a new one. Just sprinkle some glue on there on each little piece so it runs down and sticks it to the base. Just like that. Get everything good and seated. Okay. And then we're going to get a couple rocks. Once I find my rocks. Can't find my rocks. There they are. I need a couple rocks. Sprinkle them in there too to represent some other melting bits. Okay. Okay. Get our glue. I'll spray some more in there. Oh, this is that empty one. All right, we need new glue. No problem. Okay. You just want to make sure your rocks get a dab so they stay where they're at. Just like that. Okay, that's probably way more glue than I needed, but that's okay. A little bit more is better than a little bit less, I suppose, when it comes to something like this. I'm gonna put my rocks away. I'm gonna get some baking soda and a spoon. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of baking soda in there to sturdy it up. Just so that nothing ever comes out. And it covers some of the crisp lines and stuff like that. Okay. That should be pretty good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a straight edge and some cardstock. Actually, let me get a different piece. We're going to cut off some straight pieces to do some trim work. And I'm going just a little bit under 1/2 inch probably. I'm not measuring it. I'm going to make 2 of those that are roughly the same size. I'm going to come around the outside and just put a thin bead of glue there. Just like that. Then I'm going to get this piece. I'm going to put some glue on that. Just like that. I'm going to come around here and follow this shape and burn the shit out of myself in the process. I'm going to get another piece of that. Not as long. I'm going to do the same shit. I'm just going to complete my circle. Just like that. Okay. I made a big mistake there. So now I got to pull that off and fix it or something. I'm leaning towards the or something. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that down there. Good and stuck. I'm going to do that here. Get that down there. Good and stuck. And I'm just going to add another little piece. Okay, so that's our basin. Now we need an upright. So I have sprue, and I'm thinking that might be the easiest approach. I'm going to need a bigger cutter. Okay. Something like this. So let's make this into the piece we need it to be. Just like that. Look at that. We got a nice firm cap now. We can get this on the bottom with a dab of glue. Stick that as close to straight up and down as we can. Just like that. Where's my blowtorch? I've lost it. I have now found it. Okay. Now, for our crane, I have this cool little piece that you may not have to hold this. And I understand you may not have that, and I understand that that's frustrating that you might not have that. But that's okay, because just make something with whatever you've got. I'm going to grab a piece of this sprue over here that's a little sturdier. And then I'm going to get a bead. I'm going to dab of glue the top here. Just like that, and put a bead on it. Okay. I'm going to let that sit for a second and cool. Now I'm going to turn this thing into a crane carrier assembly. Okay. So now I'm going to get, this doesn't need to move. It would be cool to make it so it moves, but I don't think it would be worth the effort. So we're going to have to get this permanently on here. See how it's already starting to fall down? It's crying for permanency. To achieve that permanency, I'm going to go back to the baking soda plan. So I'm just getting a piece of cardstock and smoothing out any big lumps. I'm going to sprinkle some baking soda on there to create a sense of permanency for this stuff. Something like that. I'm going to blow dry it off screen real quick. Yeah, I got bacon set all up in my grill. So we're going to hook that on here with a dab of glue here. All right, I can barely breathe now. Got my whole face full of that shit. Okay. Get a dab of glue up here to kind of stick all this together a little better. Okay. And I'm worried about that glue dripping off the backside. So I'm just going to get that under there so that doesn't happen. Okay. We're going to let that soak in there. And we're going to sprinkle some baking soda in there. It's going to create a little bit of a texture. I'm going to blow all this out again with my hot air gun. And while I was about to do that, this popped right off as I hoped it would not. So let's get, I got glue all up in my fingers now. Gosh darn it. Well, that doesn't seem like the plan. So, let's see if we can't get that back on there. All right. Any glue globs you have, you can kind of dress those up to be like, what am I thinking of? Like melted metal. So don't like sweat if you have some glue globs you don't like and stuff. Just ignore them. God damn it. Excuse my obvious French. Sometimes I just like to show off in other languages, obviously. And we'll let that cool. We're going to have to get that mounted on there so that it doesn't break. And that's just going to take some effort, that's all. And my finger's stuck. Awesome. 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 Not really awesome. That's sarcasm. We'll let that hang down. And we will cut a piece of this like this, and we will make a piece that holds it in place. Okay, we're going to stick that right on top, kind of roughly centered. We're going to pull that back up into place, and we're going to drag that down and try to get something going, just like that. Let me get another stick of glue. It's just too much weight at a time. Since I didn't plan ahead, we're playing the what the hell you doing game. All right. Ow. Total bust. All right. All right. I'm going to set this here for a minute so it doesn't roll. Let's see if any of these glues have glue in them, so I don't have to open a whole new one. None of them have glue in them. Huh. All right, now, no matter what, in theory, again, in theory, it should be sturdy. Okay. Now, yeah, that's the level of sturdiness we wanted. Let's get some glue in the bottom of that cup. And let it start to hang over the edge there. And cool. Now these smelters, oh, I forgot to use my cool piece. Oh well. Just to pimp this out a little bit, these are just accessories from cheapy toys that I'm not sure even where they came from. Maybe it was Dollar Tree or Walmart or something. So just to pimp this a little bit up and make this a little more decorative. I'm just going to stick some garbage on there. I don't even know what all these pieces are for, and I don't really care. Pieces of sprues are useful. Okay. I want to create a little bit of a gap here and push this back some. So to do that, I'm just going to stick a piece in here. This is a counting cube, I think it's called. I'm going to stick that in there. I'm going to spill some hot metal on it. And then let that hot metal cool. There's going to be some hot metal on the floor. And I'm going to have some hot metal on the sides here. We don't have skilled laborers 1,000 years from now anymore. We used to have people that knew what they were doing in these different trades. Now we don't. We have people that have been half but trained and don't really know what's going on. And they become an enormous burden to society because they're tasked with making everything go, but they're just kind of like learning as they go and figuring stuff out, or they were trained by somebody who just kind of half-assed knew what was going on or figured it out themselves as well. And it was like a cycle of stupidity over and over and over again. Oh, my finger is burning. Ow, that is hot. All right. You could obviously go a lot further with a craft like this. You don't have to, but you can. I'm just going to show a piece on there like this bucket's been repaired. I'm just going to get a dab of glue to make it that perfect and permanent home. Just like that. As things cool down, I'm just going to look around and find spots that need a little bit of work. Whoops. These are supposed to go in this bucket, but it's not happening. Damn you guys. Let's try it again. There we go. In the bucket. This stuff has been heated once. It's being heated again. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got. Something like that. And the controller for this isn't going to be on it. It's going to be off somewhere in a safe area, nowhere near the actual design of this thing. So when I come up, I'll have this thing spray painted, and we'll come back and paint it up. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment and all that stuff. Check out the Discord. There's a link to that in the description. I'm just going to throw that in there and spray some glue on it to hold it. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of this whole glue thing because I hate this kind of glue. Oh, it's stuck to my fingers. There we go. Get rid of that whole thing, just like that. My whole hand is stuck together now. Anyways, there's a link in the description to the Discord and the website, and there's a discount code down there for 25% off your first month of our miniature subscription service. Please check that stuff out. It helps you, it helps me, it helps the channel. It doesn't really help the channel. Anyways, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.